Welcome to Electronic Employer Services, or EES, a secure website for employers to submit retirement data. This site is administered by the South Carolina Public Employee Benefit Authority, or PEBA. Employers complete and securely submit payroll and HR certifications through the EES task list. Employers will be notified via email when a new task needs to be completed. From the EES homepage, select Task List. This video will focus on the final payroll certification task. We encourage employers to view the task list on a regular basis. There is a 45 business day window to complete a final payroll certification. After the 45 business day window has passed, the task will be considered delinquent. You will be notified of the delinquency by email and a letter through regular mail. There is specific information that you will need to gather beforehand to complete a final payroll certification, including important dates such as the employee's last day on payroll, date of final paycheck and termination date, employee's annual and sick leave totals, employee's position information such as salary, title and contract information, and quarterly payroll information for 4 years, 5 years for school districts. To begin the certification process, select a task. On the left side of your screen, you will see general instructions and definitions for guidance. You will also see a progress bar to let you know which of the 7 steps you are on. If at any time throughout this process you wish to cancel the process, select Cancel. This will take you back to the task list. You also can choose to save your progress by selecting Save. Any information keyed will be saved for later completion, and you will be taken back to the task list. When you go through this process, be sure to use the previous and next buttons to navigate through these steps. Do not use the browser's back and forward buttons, as this can result in the loss of information you have already keyed. So let's begin. Step 1. Keying termination data. If you are the member's last employer, you will see the last day of active earned compensation and the date of termination from active employment that was previously submitted via the retirement date certification task. If these dates have changed and need to be updated, please contact our Customer Contact Center to request that a new retirement date certification task be placed on the task list. Key in the termination data. The date you key as the date of final paycheck will determine what final quarters need to be certified. You may key these dates in the month, day, year format, or use the calendar option. Select Next. If a discrepancy occurs at any time throughout this process, an error message will appear to alert you of the discrepancy. Please review the error message and make corrections to the certified information. Step 2. Final payroll. This step collects information needed to calculate the employee's daily rate on which annual leave is derived from, along with other information needed to finalize the employee's average final compensation. If you are not a school district or an institution of higher education, then the contract or budgeted days will be pre-filled with 260 days. You can revise this amount by keying the contract or budgeted days the employee worked. If the employee's contract or budgeted days are 240 or fewer, please key the contract or budgeted days completed. For example, if a teacher had a contract of 190 days but only completed 107 days of that 190-day contract, you would enter 107. If the employee's daily rate is based on an hourly rate and hours in a shift, such as a police officer in the police officer's retirement system, you will need to select the checkbox. Key the hourly rate of pay and hours in a shift. You would notice that the daily rate is recalculated. Key the number of checks the employee is paid in a year and their position title. Please select Yes if the employee was an hourly employee. Select Next to continue. Step 3. Annual and sick leave. This step collects leave information. If this employee does not receive annual or sick leave, select the check boxes for no leave to report. If annual leave was paid at termination, key the check date on the annual leave payout. Please remember that for Class 2 members, only up to 45 days are allowed per statute to be included in the average final compensation. Key the number of annual leave days paid, the amount of the annual leave payment, and the member contributions on the annual leave payment. Key the number of unused sick leave days. Please remember that for Class 2 members, only 90 days are allowed per statute to be credited as service credit at retirement. Select Next to continue. Step 4. Quarterly data. In this step, if applicable, you will see that the annual leave payment has been included per the information keyed in Step 3. Also, if the next to the last quarter has already posted to PIBA's system, you will not have to certify this information. The final quarter will always be required for certification. Key the active wages and member contributions for the required quarters indicated on this page. Also key the contract length and months paid. These figures should be reported via the quarterly reporting data. If a discrepancy exists, you will be contacted by PIBA for clarification. Note the total quarterly earnings and annual leave amounts will automatically calculate the total active compensation and contributions. Be sure to indicate if a furlough supplement will be reported separately for the quarter or quarters. Select Next to continue. Step 5. Payroll verification. In this step, you will certify payroll information for the last 4 fiscal years unless you are a school district or institution of higher education employer, in which case you will certify payroll information for 5 fiscal years. For example, the fiscal year 2016 starts on July 1, 2015 and ends on June 30th, 2016. All fiscal year tabs must be keyed. You may navigate by selecting each individual tab or by using the previous tab and next tab links at the bottom of the fiscal year tab. Enter the budgeted salary, contract information for school districts, additional pay information, and overtime pay. If an SCRS member is paid for overtime, it must be certified as mandatory to be included in the average final compensation. Please be sure to click Yes for mandatory when entering in the information. If you would like to see some examples of additional pay, hover over the What is Additional Pay link. If the pre-filled effective date is incorrect, you may simply select and enter the correct date. If you need additional rows to key information, select the Add a Row link to open another slot. Key the required information for each fiscal year. We will skip ahead with all the tabs filled. After keying all tabs, select the Review button. Step 6. Review. In this step, you will review the information you have keyed. For example, let's say in the quarterly data step, you meant to enter 1 month paid instead of 3. Select the Edit link in the quarterly data section, which will take you back to the quarterly data step. Make your correction and navigate back to the review page by selecting the Next button until you reach the Review button. At the bottom of the review page, there is a comment box where you can enter any additional information you wish to convey to PIBA about this final payroll certification. Select the Submit button to complete this transaction. Step 7. Completion. You have now completed your final payroll certification and submitted it to PIBA. You do not need to mail anything to our office. To print a copy for your records, select File from your browser's menu bar and select Print Preview. From here, you may return to the task list, or if the employee is returning to work after their date of retirement, select the Return to Work link. Please note that there are return to work guidelines that may be applicable to any employee returning to work after their date of retirement. If you need to make an edit after you complete it and submit it in final payroll certification, go back to the task list and find the completed task. Click on Review Reprint. Click on Request to revise this task at the top of the page. In the message box, include a short description of what changes you need to make to the file so that a PIBA representative can review the file, then click on Send Email. Once the file is reviewed, you will receive a notification that the file has been reopened, allowing you to make the necessary changes. Thank you.